All right, so today we are going to give the Dolmar project a test run. This is our 82cc and under class build for Solfest. And I've been skeptical from day one of whether or not I could get it to perform as well as what I might be able to get a 372 perform. But, you know, we went ahead with it anyway. Now, whenever I first got her running, I had carb issues. So I went through my whole stockpile of carbs, and parts and everything. I could not get one to function, so I stole the carburetor off of my chainsaw mill. It's a 372, so I pulled that carburetor and put on this Dolmar to get a good carburetor. And once I did that, everything cleaned up. But it's probably going to be a little while until we know how this saw is going to perform completely. This saw is going to be kind of vital for this saw to be a bit on the broke-in side for it to perform properly. It's running a little bit low on the crankcase, like the compression side on the crankcase. It's a bit on the low side. It is free porting, and I think those two symptoms alone are going to be enough to try to hold the saw back a little bit, and it's going to be kind of very important for that ring to get really good and seated to be able to move as much air as possible in order to get this thing to its fullest performance level. The problem is we probably won't be able to run this saw enough to get it to that point before the races. But that's all right. We got a good functioning running saw that we'll be able to take to the races and run. You know, we're covered. We're ready to go. We can run that class. Now, if I happen to get a 372 built between now and then and it ends up running better, I might take it instead. So, we'll have to wait and see how that progresses. But as right now, this will be the saw we are taking. What else? Now, the numbers are a bit on the extreme side, especially the intake timing. The intake timing is a bit long. It is at 88 degrees, and I would prefer to have it closer to like 82 or something. So that alone, like say I would JB weld the intake and take it to 82 to where I would like it to be. And we may go ahead and do that, but I'm probably going to run a tank or two out of it just to get a better, get a good feel for it before I make that decision. I feel like my gut instinct tells me that our intake timing is too long, especially for trying to get something to perform pretty high the way I'm trying to do it. There's different styles of builds, and the style that I'm trying to build this one to, it's going to need to be set to about 82 degrees, which, an 88 is a bit on the long side. So we might have to go in there and do some JB weld work to try to get that back. But we'll see how things progress here. Today we're going to give it a test run, and I'll bring it back in once we get a better idea. It's been thunderstorm, freaking lightning and rain and everything, so I've been kind of getting delayed. So we're kind of getting it out here just before dark to get a test run in to, try to beat some of this rain and get you a video made and get a test run on this saw. So let's see how she goes. Let's see how she runs. Alrighty.
She is. Check out that big old fat muffler. I'm still laughing at that. She's running pretty decent. I'm not satisfied. Looking for more, but I think we're going to run it like this for a little bit because, well, I mean, she's behaving kind of weird and erratic and stuff, and it's a sign of having a lot of bleed through at the ring because it is a brand new top end. Let me see if I can, yeah, you probably can't hear it. But I can hear like a squishiness when I pull on the rope. It's the compression's bleeding past that rings. So we're gonna try to run a couple of tanks out of it here, I think. See how she turns out after a few tanks of fuel. Try to get the ring seat a little bit better than this. She's performing all right now, but I was hoping for more. I can tell you the intake does feel too long. I had mentioned previously that, you know, the intake is a bit longer than I prefer, and I can tell you it's definitely a bit on the long side. Not 100% happy with that, but, you know, might have to run it in this form for the races and tweak on it more down the road, you know. We don't have but, what do we got left? Like 6 weeks, maybe less, 4 weeks. And I need to get run time on it. I think run time on it is going to be more important than going in and changing numbers right now. So, yeah.
otherwise, yeah, I think she's running pretty good. We're gonna run it a bit more and see how she breaks in. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, so yeah, she ran decent. Definitely not where I was hoping it to be at, which I kind of had a feeling this is about where we would expect it to run at. I did not have a tack on it. I think we're a little, I don't know. We're definitely going to have to get the ring seated a bit more, and we might have to go into it and do a little JB weld to that intake to help clean up some of that lengthy intake time. I feel like it's just a little bit too long. You know what I mean? So might have to get into it, give it a little bit more work. But in the meantime, we're going to give it another run or two, get a better feel for it. I don't want to make a decision right off yet. That was its first, couple of cuts. So I hate making my final decision right after the first couple of cuts. I want to get a few more cuts into it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, pretty happy for the most part. I think we're on the right track, but I think we need to make another couple of tweaks. And I'm afraid it's probably not going to be at 100% for the races, but, we got a good running solve for the races. She may not be a contender for the top 10 or anything like that, but we're competing. We got 72 cc, we got the 82 cc and under class covered. We got a running saw, and we'll be able to take it for a run. Now, I'm also building a 372 right now, so you never know which one might end up on top. They're both going to be 52 millimeter setup, I think, and maybe I might do the 50 millimeter setup on the 372. So we'll see. I actually got two 372s I'm going to be building. One's going to be a 50 and one's going to be a 52 millimeter. So we might even be able to see how the difference in performance levels are between those two sizes of builds whenever they get done. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. The Dolmar is up and running. I do think we need to make a couple of tweaks. I think it's falling a little short from where we would like it to be. And hey, this is kind of the adventure of building saws. You don't usually get them nailed the first time out of the gate, especially the first time you build something like this. Like, this is my first time on one of these Dolmars, and nailing it the first time out of the gate is rare. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And this is one of the times when you gotta have patience and get in there and work on it some more. So hey, we'll catch you in the next one. Later.